Welcome everyone to this info webinar about our open call for space-related geospatial innovations. The call is already open, but we organized this webinar to give information about what the call is about, what kind of things we're looking for, and then also offer a bit of insights on what kind of things are required for the application for the funding and what kind of things we're looking for from the projects. First of all, welcome to everybody. And then we will start with a short video introducing the open call that is now opened. Okay, that was the short introduction video. And as was already shown on the video, what we're now looking for is innovations related to space and geospatial technologies. We have overall funding for projects 4.4 million euros. We're going to give that from 200,000 to 500,000 euros per research project. That's up to 80% of funding from ESA, and then the 20% funding comes from SMEs themselves, or in case of larger organization, that can be half of the overall funding. The offering from our side also includes technical advisory, that's over 100 hours per project, and then business and IPR advisory, which will be given by the experts of, in our case, the Aalto Startup Center advisors. So that's something that will help you in developing the projects and especially on the commercialization side, making those research topics and ideas commercially viable. We'll also be part of the ESA Phi-Lab network in Europe. You can see the map on the right. They are the countries who are now involved in the ESA Phi-Lab network, and there will be more countries added once those become operational. The latest two to be included in the group were Ireland and Sweden that were joining actually this week to the operations. The focus areas of ESA Phi-Lab in Finland are geospatial technologies that include sensor technologies, advanced computation for geospatial services, and novel digital geospatial services themselves. So you can either do upstream development, also the AI applications can be upstream or downstream, or you can create new digital services based on use of Earth observation, navigation, or positioning data from different spaceborne satellites and systems. So the topic area is quite wide. We're interested in all of these, and the applications can be within one category, or it can cover several categories as complete system or setup. We have partners in the ESA Phi-Lab, Aalto University, the Finnish Meteorological Institute, the Finnish Geospatial Research Institute, and the University of Vaasa. And these are the organizations also providing the services for the projects that get selected. So basically, from these, depending on the topic area, we might find the experts on weather data, we might find the experts on using different remote sensing technologies, or in case of Aalto University, we could have experts on building satellites as well, or integrating geospatial sensors for satellite systems. So there's a very large variety of options that are available as services for the projects. We also have funding partners. The main funding for the project comes from ESA. Also, the project partners listed earlier are giving in-kind contributions to the project. And then we also have 3 other foundations covering our costs and putting effort in making these services available. The geospatial research infrastructure itself, this is a big part of the possibilities for applicants. You can use any of these services as part of the project. It just needs to be agreed in advance, and also the cost covering use of these services should be agreed beforehand. So for example, I already mentioned the Aalto University Small Satellite Laboratory. That's the laboratory that has been involved in, for example, in building these Aalto-based satellites, Aalto 1, Aalto 2, and the for sale that is now being in construction for the next 1P version. There's also a lot of test facilities available. For example, the Finnish Geospatial Research Center has a calibration field for radiometric testing. So if you're planning to have a sensor, you want to test it on actual test field, that's one possibility. There's also all kind of positioning services. Finnish Geospatial Research Center also has access to this Finnish-wide network of base stations for satellite positioning. So getting data from those, using that for calibrating your own sensors or testing any field applications, also one possibility. And then Finnish Meteorological Institute has the main infrastructure is the Arctic Space Center, which has a lot of observation capabilities, but it also works as a ground station for many of the operational satellites in orbit at the moment. And they also have different kind of virtual and cloud services available. So it's more about what kind of things you're interested in, and then on the actual application documents, there are listed the persons you should contact in case you're interested in one of these facilities or options to be used in your project. What has happened so far is that we launched, it was already in the main video, that we started the whole operations in start of this year. The January was the starting for the whole ESA Phi-Lab. And then the actual open call launch happened last week. And now we're organizing this webinar to tell more about the opportunities. The continuous open call is now open. It will last for 6 years from now. So basically you can apply whenever you're ready to do that. We will have certain cutoff days. The first one is already set on 1st of June. So by that day, the applications we have received, we will go through them. We will have a tender evaluation board evaluating the projects, giving them scores. And based on that, also making the decision which project we will fund in the first round. Then we will set up the next cutoff day, and then again, there's an opportunity to apply for that. So basically, you're not limited to this first cutoff day. You can apply within the next, so to say, 6 years, and then do the project when you're ready to do that. There might be some research groups, for example, who are currently doing some research. And once that's completed, they want to commercialize that and then apply for it. It's also possible to bit adjust the timing for the project. So if you have something you can, let's say, make it commercial within 12 months, you can apply for that period. The maximum length of the project or the application is 24 months, so 2 years. And you can do that as well. So in case if you're, for example, requiring 1 year for further development and then 1 year for the commercialization, that's fully possible to do within the application and the projects that are funded by the ESA Phi-Lab. The application itself is pretty simple. We have 2 documents. The main one is the actual research proposal. And then additional to that, we have a draft research contract, which is basis for the actual contract for the research funding. So both of those are required, but the main one is the first listed here. The basic research proposal shouldn't be more than 10 pages. And then the research contract itself, that's kind of set document from ESA. Contract and what you're looking for should be written in these 2 documents during the application. And that's actually the main introduction to the application. I wanted to add a couple of more things here, and that's basically the evaluation criteria. The whole ESA Phi-Lab is looking to novel state-of-the-art ideas that are going to be close to commercialization. So something that would become viable business within the time frame of the project. So from 12 months to 24 months. We have 4 main criteria areas which we're evaluating for the applications. So the background experience, is the team having the right composition to do the project? Are there partnerships, research facilities relevant to the project listed there? Do they have support from those who should be supporting the idea? And then is the actual research and technology. So this is kind of including the state of the art and also if it's mature enough. In TRL levels, this means the technology should be at least level 3 when you apply. So then you're able to get it further during the process itself. If it's a very early concept, that's maybe too early for applying at the moment, but a bit later, once you have developed it a bit further, you're able to do the application. Then there's the commercial opportunities, so you should do some kind of background evaluation on the market segments, even reach potential customers. That's also something where you can have this letter of interest from your potential customers. For example, if a government or private company is interested in the data or the end result, that's a very good indication of that's something that is worth developing. There should be also some IPR strategy, at least mentioned that if you're planning to do that, what kind of ideas there are. And then the activity and management proposal, the milestones, costs, and so on. So you shouldn't, for example, put too much administration on. If 80% of the application is administration, that's maybe not a good structure. But if the main application is towards the research, development, and commercialization, that's something that is probably getting better points in the evaluation. And then the last point here, E, is fit for Phi-Lab. So please look into the details, the categories we have listed on the actual application documents, because if your idea is within those categories, it's fit with Phi-Lab. If it's outside of that, it doesn't have any space connection, for example, then it's something we're not able to fund. Because ESA is the main funding source for ESA Phi-Lab activities, there needs to be some kind of space connection. It can be either use of space technology in other field, it can be use of space data, remote sensing data, positioning data, or it can be technology that is planned to be used in space. I already mentioned the sensors, so if you're planning to send a sensor to space, that's one way to do it, or you can use some data available from ESA or even other sources of information. So it might be some other satellite system that is part of the end user application or so on. But yeah, this in short was the introduction to the open call and what we're looking for, and also the evaluation. And if you have any questions, we're happy to answer those. You can request the open call documents from our website, esaphilab.fi. In the end, you have a place where you fill in your email, click send, and we will send you by email the actual application documents. But we can stop here the recording, and then we can have the open discussion on any of the topics or interest you have for the call.